And once the grease starts coming out, then we could get some bread, and you're just gonna shove the bread in there. And what that does is that's gonna just help seal that grease in. Push this grease and bread in, which is gonna force the pilot bearing out. So you need to find something that fits inside the diameter that's a nice tight fit, but not too tight. So now all we need to do is to hammer the extension to force the grease and bread into the hole. Add more grease and more bread and hammer it in there. And if you look, you can see the pressure starting to move the bearing outwards. So just a few more hits, almost there, and beautiful. The bearing pops right out. We have to clean out the hole the bearing presses into, so spray a little bit of brake cleaner in there and wipe away all the dirt and grease. Gently tap the socket to evenly push the bearing in. After a few taps, stop and make sure the bearing is going in straight using a transmission bolt that threads into the engine and a pressure plate bolt that threads into the flywheel. And then grab a wrench and put it over one of the bolts and then turn the flywheel until the box end of the wrench wedges. Don't unscrew it all the way. Remove this wrench and then we want to loosen the bolt about halfway. Then grab a pry bar and pry the flywheel apart from the engine like so. And with the flywheel removed, now we're on the last thing that we need to replace before we start reinstalling everything. So first, let's spray down the area with some brake cleaner and make sure the area is clean. With the bolts removed, we could pull the cover off.